the courage to change. Have you ever felt stuck in a life that doesn't truly make you happy? Meet Michael, a man who lived the life that so many of us dream of: a stable corporate job, a steady paycheck, and a comfortable lifestyle. On the outside, everything looked perfect. But inside, Michael was suffocating. His heart longed for something more. He had a passion that he had tucked away for years: photography. For years, Michael woke up every morning, dressed in a sharp suit, and commuted to his corporate job. He had a corner office with a stunning view, but none of it brought him the joy he had once dreamed of. Every day felt the same, like a never-ending cycle of meetings, reports, and deadlines. His real passion, his true calling, was to capture the beauty of the world through a lens. But he had convinced himself it was a silly dream, something that didn't pay the bills. One evening, after yet another long, exhausting day at work, Michael looked at his reflection in the mirror. He didn't recognize the man staring back at him. This wasn't who he was meant to be. A sudden thought struck him. What if this was his only shot at living the life he wanted? What if he could take the leap and change everything? The very idea of quitting his job terrified him, but the desire for change burned brighter than his fears. That night, as he sat in his apartment, he made a decision. He would follow his passion. It wasn't going to be easy, and he knew it. In fact, it seemed almost impossible, but Michael made a promise to himself that he would try. The next morning, with his heart pounding in his chest, Michael handed in his resignation. His colleagues were shocked. "Are you sure about this, Michael? You're throwing everything away," they said. But Michael knew that if he didn't take this chance now, he might regret it for the rest of his life. For the first few months, Michael's new life was far from glamorous. The photography world was a harsh place, and he struggled to get his foot in the door. He sent dozens of portfolios to galleries and magazines, only to be met with rejection. He questioned his decision every night. Was it all a mistake? He wondered if he had been foolish to leave the security of his corporate job for something so uncertain. But deep down, Michael knew that failure wasn't an option. He had already given up everything to chase this dream, and he wasn't about to back down now. One day, after months of hard work and sacrifice, Michael received an email from a renowned gallery in New York. They had seen his portfolio online and wanted to feature his work in an upcoming exhibit. Michael couldn't believe his eyes. His photos, his passion, were finally being recognized. The gallery show was a turning point in his career. The exhibit was a huge success, and Michael's work was celebrated by art lovers and critics alike. He was no longer just a struggling photographer, he was a respected artist with a growing reputation. His photos began appearing in major publications, and soon he was traveling the world to showcase his work. But despite his newfound success, Michael never forgot the struggle. Every time he picked up his camera, he remembered the courage it had taken to change his life. His journey wasn't just about becoming a famous photographer, it was about rediscovering his purpose and finding fulfillment in the things that truly mattered. Michael's story shows us something incredibly important. Sometimes, the courage to change can lead to the most rewarding journeys. It's easy to stay in your comfort zone, even when you're unhappy. But if you take the leap, if you have the courage to follow your passion, the rewards can be beyond anything you ever imagined. But here's the twist. Michael's story didn't end with his success. As he traveled the world, capturing beautiful landscapes, he met countless people who were just like him, people who had dreams but were too afraid to pursue them. He realized that his success wasn't just about his photography. It was about inspiring others to take the same leap of faith he had. So Michael didn't stop at just taking photos. He started teaching others, mentoring aspiring photographers who were stuck in the same rut he had been in. He gave talks and workshops, encouraging them to follow their passions and to believe in themselves, just as he had learned to believe in himself. Michael had become not only a photographer, but a catalyst for change in others' lives. But what about you? Have you ever felt that nagging feeling that you're not living your true purpose? Are you stuck in a job that doesn't fulfill you, just like Michael was? Or maybe you're hesitant to take that first step toward your dream. Imagine if you could push past your fears and take that leap. What could you achieve if you had the courage to change your life? Would you be willing to take that risk for a shot at something greater? Can you do it? Will you take the leap just like Michael did, even when the road is uncertain? Only you can answer that question. But remember this, the greatest successes are often born from the courage to change. You may not know where the path will lead, but if you trust yourself and your dreams, the journey will be worth it. So, what are you waiting for? Will you find the courage to change? Moral of the story: the courage to step out of your comfort zone and follow your passion, even in the face of uncertainty and fear, can lead to a life of fulfillment, purpose, and success. True happiness comes from pursuing what sets your soul on fire, not just what feels safe or expected. The end. This brings us to the end of the story. I hope you've learned a valuable lesson from it. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more inspirational stories.